Welcome back to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks, and I'm really excited about the two young ladies I have on with me now because they have big aspirations, and I just think that's wonderful. I mean, you know me and the glass ceiling and females. Let's just knock it on out, folks. So I'm tickled to death they're here today, and especially today. Actually, we're taping on June the 6th, which is the 74th anniversary of D-Day. Now, they're not going to talk about D-Day, and goodness knows they weren't alive during D-Day, but they're from Lake Forest Middle School. They are 8th graders there this year. It's Amanda Ledford and Jesse Henderson, and they are presenting a history. I'm going to let them tell you. What would you call what you all are doing, gals?
Well, we created a documentary.
That's it, a documentary. Okay.
On the Battle of Athens,
yes.
Tennessee, and we are going to the national contest now that we have made it through the regional contest, the state contest, and now we're going to Washington, D.C.
I think that's awesome. I think that's absolutely awesome. Now, when you say you created a documentary, what does that entail?
So first we had to do all of the research, which took months and multiple trips to libraries and museums, and to Athens mostly. And then we had to write our script. So we had to put all of the research we'd done into a 10-minute documentary, which was very difficult.
I'd say it was.
And then we picked images to put together on the timeline that would fit with our script to show the audience that was watching what we were talking about.
And so you've presented this at several other things, and you've won up to this point. Now you're going to national. So is there a group of judges that judges this? How's this done?
There's normally 3 judges. It's a panel of judges who interview us at the competition. They watch our video, and then they ask us questions.
Fantastic. And you do your video there at Lake Forest?
We have put it together
at
Lake Forest.
Okay.
But currently, Lake Forest is going under construction.
Aren't they, though? Isn't that interesting? Yes.
So Ocoee Middle School has been kind enough to let us work there.
I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome that they're letting you do that. Now, why in the world did you pick the Battle of Athens?
So we got the topic, like the theme for the contest, which is conflict and compromise.
Oh,
and so
okay.
my grandfather mentioned that the Battle of Athens would fit, and I was like, well, I don't know what that is. And so he told me the story, and it was very enthusiastic, and he just loved the story. And so it made me want to learn more about it, and I told Amanda, and she was also very interested in the topic. So.
Fantastic. Now, did you all partner up because you wanted to partner up together, or did your teacher say you two are it, or how does this work?
Well, our teacher invited us to do it.
Oh, good.
And we're already friends, so we figured it would be a good match.
I think that is great. I really do. So I know, and we have, your teacher and I have emailed back and forth several times because my dad was actually involved in the Battle of Athens, and I think you all have been up there a couple of times to meet people. Did you meet Sheriff Guy?
Yes.
Okay. See, I taught him in 2nd grade. He had hair then, okay? But he was a precious student, and I loved him to death. So he was not sheriff during the Battle of Athens. So why would you want to talk to him?
Well, he is also a historian.
Yes.
And an author. So we read his book, The Hidden History of East Tennessee, and we figured, hey, this guy knows a lot about this.
Absolutely. And then you also, I think last week you went up and saw the McMinn County Mayor.
Yes, Mayor Gentry.
Mayor Gentry. I didn't have him in 2nd grade. He was in Miss Bennett's 2nd grade, but that's okay. But I'm sure that a lot of people in Athens want to tell you about the Battle of Athens, but there's very few people that are still alive that know about it. But now I think you actually did interview one person that is still alive.
Yes, Harold Powers.
Yes, Prof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what did he have to tell you?
Well, he's a great storyteller.
Yes,
he loves telling
is.
stories. And so he just told us his experiences in the battle. And so he was with some of the people that went and got the guns from the armory, and one of the first people to get shot. And so it was just a very interesting story. And
yes, and see, he was my elementary principal. And at that time we had first grade through 8th grade. No kindergarten at that time, and this is years ago. And so we called him Prof. Powers. So when y'all said you were going to go interview Harold Powers, I thought, oh, I know who that is too. So, but yeah, he's probably the last living person that participated, because those were guys that came back from World War II.
Yes.
They would have been in their early to mid 20s, and that was 70-something years ago. So, but I'm still curious, why did you all decide the Battle of Athens? I mean, you said your grandfather was very enthusiastic about it,
Yeah.
but how many other options did you have, or did you just like this one and say this is it?
We
We had narrowed it down between two, and we finally decided that the Battle of Athens fit the theme conflict and compromise the best.
Yes. I'm not really sure how much they compromised, but there was definitely conflict. Yes, that's exactly right. So now when you all go to Washington, tell our audience what you're going to be doing there. How does
Well-
this work?
Our first day that we're going to be there is actually our competition day.
Okay.
Then that night we find out if we make it into the finals. And then if we make it into the finals, the next day we compete. And the rest of the time is just to have fun in D.C.
Good. And you will have a great time in D.C., I'm quite sure. Now, I think your teacher told me there's over 100 competitors.
Yes.
So you all are one of 100 or 101 or 2 or whatever. So this is exciting.
yes.
And you get a trip to Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Now, you're leaving really soon. When are you going?
We're leaving this weekend,
Yeah.
Okay. And you'll be gone for how many days?
the whole next week.
All of next week. And that is awesome. And I know your teacher's going with you, and I think she's excited to be going. And I think this is absolutely super. So when you as a person that often gets up and speaks in front of people, do you all have to get up and speak in front of people, or will you be sitting in an area like that? How will this work?
It will be in an area like this, and we will be presented 3 judges, and they will ask us questions on clarification or how we got interested in the topic, and that is just kind of how it will all play out.
At regionals, it was a lecture hall, and so
Oh.
and there were some kids from other schools that came and watched, and so anyone can watch our documentary. So it's
Oh,
not just the judges.
okay.
And so it just depends on the room we get put in. I think how it's going to be set up.
And I think that's awesome. I know last year's group came and presented to the Bradley County School Board their video and did a little bit. So I'm hoping that y'all will do that when you come back and when you have time, because I know we are bumping right up to y'all leaving. So now I understand that last week when you interviewed Mayor Gentry, basically it was to find out how county government works.
Yes.
So is that part of your presentation, or did that just help solidify something, or how does that work?
In our documentary, we have to tell the
That-
causes, the day of, and the aftermath.
Oh, okay.
And so we had to know what the government was like beforehand and how it changed through the battle. And so interviewing Mayor Gentry helped us, to just be more knowledgeable on the changes that it went through.
And I bet it was very interesting for y'all to hear what it was like before, because that's kind of what corrupt government is what it was before. And then the GIs came back, and having grown up in Athens and seen the old jail and all of that, I know exactly where y'all been and what you've been talking to people about, and I think it's awesome. And I really think it's fascinating that, and here I am saying, but I'm one of those that, whatever females want to do, let's go do it, gals. But are you all normally history buffs, or what do you have in mind later on in life?
You can go first.
Well, I would actually like to be a pediatric oncologist at St. Jude,
Fantastic.
but our family has described us as history buffs.
Oh, okay. I think that's fantastic. And then what would you like to do?
My first choice is to be a veterinarian, but my second choice is to be a historian or a
Okay.
history teacher.
That is fantastic. And we have historians in Bradley County, people that keep up with what's going on. And like I say, I'm so proud of Joe Guy. I still call him Joey. I'm sorry, that's what I called him in 2nd grade. But I'm so proud of him that he's kept up with his history that he's doing. And do y'all get nervous when you do this? Or you're not a bit nervous today. I mean, you're very calm here on TV. So what do y'all do? Do you do kind of some yoga or some deep breathing, or what do you do before you go in?
Well, our first time we were very nervous, but as we've done this before, it has definitely helped us grow to be more mature people.
And I think that's awesome. I really, really do. I think, and today, speaking with you all, I'm having no problem with knowing that you're going to be great at making your presentation. And so, how much has differed from your very first presentation to what you're taking to the nationals?
A lot.
It's,
Okay.
Before, it started out as kind of just a slideshow with our narration behind it. Now it has developed into a full documentary.
It has movement and pictures, videos, music.
Wow. Now, when you say music, did you use music from that era?
Yes.
Or did you, wow. I am really impressed with you all. I think that's great. What we need to do when you get back is bring that video here to the TV station and let's play it for people to see. Win, lose, or draw. We'd just like to see it, okay? Because I think it would be fascinating. I know I went online and found a couple of videos of the Battle of Athens, and Steve Byram, who had written a book, was graduated with me from McMinn, and he did one, just a audio of telling a little bit about the Battle of Athens history. So I'm assuming you've taken all of this, every little bit you've gotten, and put it all together.
Yes.
And how did you squeeze it into 10 minutes?
It was very difficult.
Yeah, we had to decide what we thought was the most important for, especially just the theme
Right.
of the contest, and decide what we could live without in a documentary.
Absolutely. And that, to me, would be very educational, very knowledgeable, very challenging, because 10 minutes is not a lot.
No.
But if you've got 100 schools represented doing 10 minutes each, that's a long time. So I see why they limit you to 10 minutes. But did you first get an outline of what you wanted? How did you come about the 10 minutes? I mean, you knew you had 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
how did you narrow it
We
down?
kind of wrote like an essay kind of a thing for our script, and then we read it through and it was like way over 8 minutes. And so then we went through and just took out segments that weren't necessary.
And I think that's great, because the necessary part was to let people know, to me, why it happened, but you had to go into the background a little bit of what was happening in Athens when that happened, and then why that happened, and then what eventually happened from that. And I told your teacher, I went to the Polk County alumni banquet the other night with my uncle Ralph, who's 96, and he was there during the Battle of Athens, but he was actually in Etowah during the time. So I said, don't talk to the girls. They've already got their script. They already know what they're doing, and so you'll just confuse them. And he loves to talk. And he was the oldest alum there. He's 96 years old. So anyway, but that's the age of a lot of people that you all needed to interview but aren't there anymore to be interviewed.
Yeah.
So, all right, are you excited?
Yes.
I'm excited for you. I think that's great, and I think you're going to. Have you ever been to Washington, D.C.?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and we've had to do fundraising to be able to go.
Okay, that was kind of a question I had in the back of my mind before Alex started holding up fingers back there. So the school is not sponsoring you?
No.
So what all have you done for fundraising to be able to go?
Well, we got a volunteer electric grant,
Fantastic.
and we have done some GoFundMe stuff.
Oh, good.
And my grandmother's flea market had allowed us to do a bake sale there.
Fantastic.
And then we've gotten some donations from the Hughes Retirement Group, Equititle, and then the Valley View Ruritans.
Oh, neat. Yeah. The Ruritan clubs are wonderful to help with things like this, but Volunteer Electric, I'm a customer of Volunteer Electric, and I don't mind rounding up my bill every month so that they can give grants to things like this, and I think that's awesome. So do you think you've got it funded, or what do you think? You're going to have some pocket change as you go, or what are you going to do?
Yes, definitely have some pocket change.
Okay, that sounds great. There's a lot of places in D.C. I've been there several times, and, I would say go to the Smithsonian, but that's like a whole week in itself, just building to building to building, but best babysitter I ever found when I took my son up there. But, ladies, I'm so proud of you all, and I just hope you do so well. And I really do want you to bring that video back, and let's put it on the air so people can see it when you get back.
Okay.
Since you're packing your bags right now and headed out, we don't have time to do it right now. And you probably don't want to do it right now anyway because you want to surprise your judges. So anyway, thank you all so much for being on with me today. Lake Forest Middle School, folks, this is some of the things that are happening in our schools around here, and I'm proud of y'all. Good luck.
Thank you.
This weekend, so don't go away. Watch our commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills, and I'll be right back.